Krikoko, krikoko. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Critical Coffee Considerations with me, Francis Beck. I'm here in my coffee shop and actually not going to talk about making the coffee, but the experience of working in the coffee shop and the customers. And this time actually I got a customer that brought me two coffee plants. This is amazing. He's growing these plants here, and they came originally from coffee berries from Costa Rica, where his son lives and organizes holidays and things like this, if I remember correctly. So on his many travels there, he brought some coffee berries here to Bruges, very close to where I have the coffee shop here. And as he discovered my place, he was so kind to bring me these two plants, which for me means a second shot at caring personally for coffee plants. Of course, I'm not caring for the coffee plants in my botanic garden where my main profession is. I do analyze them, I do work with them, but I'm not a gardener there, and I don't do a good job at gardening. That's why I lost my first coffee plants that I got from Charles, and that's discussed in an earlier episode. So the thing that I learned now is that, well, I mean, it makes sense, they do need water. So you just, you just feel, and if it does start to feel dry, of course, then don't pour water on top, but take it out, pour water in here, which you can see this still contains water, so no need to refill that. And the advantage is that the water is coming from below, so it's stimulating the plants to grow their roots downwards, of course. And of course, when you see that the roots are breaking through the pots, then you know it's the right time to give them a bigger house, in a way. So I was saying, this is it's nice when you customers bring you things that are very relevant. And I say customer because it was actually the second time that he came by, and it's already twice that he wanted to buy something here in my shop, but he didn't have cash with him. Actually, I usually just accept digital payments. Anyway, he didn't have any payment with him. The first time, the second time he came with the plants here, and he was happy to pay for the coffee I made him. But then, of course, I didn't charge anything because, I mean, if you have customers like this that bring you coffee plants, why would you? So I'm very excited. I mean, this is a project of wanting to care again for coffee plants going on for, quite some time. He was able to grow these plants from these berries in Costa Rica, and this is a second generation migrant basically, because from those initial plants he was able to get berries and get new seedlings, and so this is a first generation offspring from these plants, these berries from Costa Rica, and this is also a first generation, but from the fruit that he got this year. So this is from the fruit he got this year, this from 2 years ago, because, well, basically a coffee plant does need 4 years before it will give you berries, so I will have to be patient. And actually this is a project that I've already been wanting to do. I probably bought this 3 years ago, which is, it's a pot maker, so you can make from newspaper paper, you can basically make small pots to grow plants in. which is of course you need all those pots, of course. And then here we have some cocoa pot ground. So here you make your little pots, you put in some pot ground, you put the seeds, and the thing is, I'm very grateful for those plants. But in theory, I have all the coffee beans, and if you have good quality coffee beans, it means in theory they should still, sprout, become a plant again. Not all of them, but some, percentage, maybe 50%. I don't know. Actually, I have colleagues working on investigating the vitality of coffee beans, and in their studies it shows that vitality relates to the quality of the coffee, of the cupping, of when you actually taste it. So another way of, before even roasting your coffee to know is it any good is, if you get a sample or something like this, try and see if you can grow them into plants. Although I don't know what that means for the Nagoya Protocol. If you've heard about the Nagoya Protocol, it's that in theory you cannot do anything with potentially genetic resources that are coming from other countries. Of course, in history of coffee, there has been biopiracy, which is then when you're neglecting to consider these protocols from the very beginning, because the very first people drinking coffee already wanted to keep it for themselves, and you have this whole story how coffee went around the world, and at several stages they had to smuggle it to get it to new continents, let's say. So a lot going on in this short presentation on not drinking coffee but growing coffee. A shout out to my customer, my first time customer, and already bringing me these plants here. Do drop by if you're in the neighborhood to try out my coffee or discuss how to grow coffee plants. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you in a next episode.